Hello and welcome to Gaming Gain. My name is Muzz and the new Pokemon game looks crap. Yeah, I try to be positive on this channel, but sometimes I just need to let my feelings be known. And after watching the trailer for the latest Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends ZA, as it is being called, I am left very underwhelmed by this kind of reveal and kind of the premise they are going for. Now, I've been playing Pokemon games since I was a wee lad, and my earliest experiences in gaming involve Pokemon. That's why I have kind of still an affiliation to it, and I guess I am still quite passionate about it, despite not really playing much of the games recently. Like, I played Shield on the Nintendo Switch, played it for a couple hours and was, yeah, just again underwhelmed. I think maybe I had grown out of the Pokemon, or maybe they just weren't, I feel like they just weren't innovating enough. Like, I played Pokemon Yellow, Blue, Red, Ruby, Sapphire, Gold, Crystal, Silver, all those games, Leaf Green. I didn't play Fire Red. So I have a lineage of Pokemon experiences. Pokemon Go, like, although I've done some content in the channel which kind of downplays that, like, I did enjoy it for a period. And, like, going back to my video game industry video, where I kind of critiqued the video game industry, and I talked about AAA games. Now, Pokemon it's a AAA franchise. It is the most profitable franchise in the world. Like, you think about the franchises out there, Pokemon eclipses them all. Harry Potter, Dragon Ball, Marvel, like, it eclipses all of them. And they can't make a game that looks better than this. Now, this is where you say, you're a hypocrite because you talked about not wanting games to be that way. But there's a difference between, like, choosing a graphical style and just clearly not putting in any effort. Like, some of the graphics in this look bare bones, like barely any. They're cutting corners, and it's not Nintendo, because we know what Nintendo can do with video games. Like, they've created some of the most innovative, most enjoyable gaming experiences that this planet has to offer. It's Game Freak, and they are clearly skirting around the edges, cutting corners to make this game as profitable as possible. You add on to that the premise of it, where you're set in this one place, this one location for the entire time. To me, a Pokemon game should feel like an adventure. Alright? It should feel like you are starting off in a little town and you're going out into the big bad world to find yourself some Pokemon. Like, it should be an adventure. I don't get an adventure feel from this game. I think it sounds very lackluster in terms of being in the one city, and the wild zones that they showed off where the Pokemon are. It's just a bit more of the city with a bit of overgrown grass and a few Pokemon roaming about. It does not look that innovative. It doesn't look that different. Like, we've seen this before. And then you go up to the roof, which the roof sections look awful. Just like flat. Like, nothing on them, just flat roof. And I'm like, how is that going to be enjoyable in terms of a gameplay experience? They have changed the battle system, which I will say looks different. Like, obviously, battle systems have done this before. It looks more like real time rather than the turn-based that we are used to in Pokemon. And, I mean, I'll give them credit, but it's a change, alright? And I think many people feel like Arceus was a big departure and felt like a step in the right direction for the Pokemon franchise. I've seen a few people online saying that this maybe feels like a bit of a step back, and I would have to agree with them. I don't think, like, if you're trying to get me to buy the Switch 2, which I've got a Switch 1, but I've not really played that much on it. If you're trying to get me to buy a Switch 2, this game is not selling me. It is not selling me at all on it. And maybe it's not for the Switch too. I imagine it will be eventually, but yeah, it just very underwhelmed. Definitely very underwhelmed, and I know I use quite negative language to say it like crap, but that's just how I felt. I really did feel like it just looked bare bones, it looked very hollow, and after their last performance with a Pokemon game, not Arceus because that done well, but the last kind of mainline one where it was ran absolutely terribly, the textures, the graphics were all being critiqued, and they got away with it because it sold really well. Like, this is the thing with these video game companies. We need to hold them accountable, but we don't. Because it's a Pokemon game, we think, we'll buy it. Like, hold them accountable. Don't buy it. Just be like, nah, this isn't good enough. This is not good enough. And you'd think that maybe with games like Power World, which have saw such spikes in popularity, because they have tried something different with the Pokemon formula. Like, I play Power World on my Switch, and it's, not Switch, Steam Deck, and it's rough around the edges. Absolutely rough around the edges. Like, the battling I find quite frustrating. There's a lot of jank in there, but they're trying something different, and they're constantly trying to improve the game, which I appreciate, so I keep going back to it. Whereas I feel like if they put out this Pokemon game day one and it works okay, they're going to be like, right, we're done, grand, we've nailed it, we've absolutely nailed it, which is just not the way you should be. So yeah, that is just my kind of thoughts on the new Pokemon game. As I say, I try to be positive, but I think it needs to be called out. It needs to be called out when I see something that I just think, come on, it's so obvious that you're not putting as much effort as you could in. And again, I'm not asking for like to look absolutely photorealistic. I'm just looking for a bit of effort, like more Pokemon, like on screen, better, a bit better graphics at least. Like some of the windows in this game look like, I think they are one picture, like just like slapped onto the side of the building, and you're like, come on, we're in 2025, surely you can do that a bit better. But anyway, that is my thoughts on Pokemon Legends ZA. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? This is why we have these discussions. Let me know down in the comments below. Talk to me about it. And do you agree or disagree? With all that being said, all that's left to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.